So exciting.
Fantastic. Happy to be with you.
Yes. So today, are we going to talk about the radiant mind experience?
Is that what you want me to talk about?
It sounds really amazing, about awakening the channels in our body to receive
Yeah,
divine energy.
absolutely. So I want people to know that we'll be talking about today, and I do every Wednesday Pacific time at 7 a.m. I guide people in 1 hour guided meditation. It's always a little different, but they can go to soulsearch.io and look around for these talks, which they have like 10 of them now. But we'll talk
Oh,
about it today. It's Radiant Mind Meditation. I also teach a class, a weekend class. I haven't done it in a while, but it's on Radiant Mind. And so the idea here, it's a really good experience, is if we look at all, particularly in Asia, when you have acupuncture, what they do is they have an understanding that there's energy flowing through the body all the time. This is, I mean, how do we stay alive? If you've ever seen someone die, 1 minute they're there and the body is completely cold and nothing there in an instant. It's life force energy that flows into us. And it's what allows us to think and feel and heal. You know, if I get a cut, my body will just heal itself. I put stuff in my body, it will digest and produce all these chemicals. So this is what people often call divine energy. It's the God energy, it's presence, it's the cosmic intelligence, however people want to look at it, which can be defined and looked at or not defined in so many different ways. So for me, it's a matter of recognizing there's a higher intelligence that's running the show, and we're co-creating with it. And to experience that co-creation, uh, it helps to be able to feel the energy. If you can feel the energy, it's like it becomes more real to you rather than a concept, logical. You can actually feel it. And when you can feel it, you can do things with it. Like with my arms, if I can't feel my arm, I can't move it. But if I can feel the arm, then I can think arm go up, arm goes up. That's all it is. To a certain extent, if you can feel one with other people, you can wish them to be happy and they become happier. See, that's the whole idea of empathy, is that when you connect with people, then you wish well for them, they feel good. And when you can't connect with people, you're kind of isolated, you have very little power in the world. So it's all about opening our hearts, able to feel. So what we want is, in the radiant mind, is the experience. We feel the energy field around us. Now, some people are born hypersensitive and they don't need to practice to do that. And they also have a bunch of problems because of that, because they can feel someone suffering in pain and then suddenly they take it on inside themselves. So that, why do they do that? Because they feel one. I know for me as a sensitive soul, I was a monk for 9 years and I was living in Switzerland for part of that time. And I was in a little village. I go for a walk every day, meditate and pray a lot. And I saw a hunchback person and I just couldn't even look at them because I felt, oh my God, I would feel so horrible to have a hunchback like that because I put myself in their situation, as opposed to realizing that they're in that situation. That's their life. That's who they are. They adjust. It's not my life. A lot of times people see homeless people and they, oh my gosh, what if I was to be homeless? Well, I've lived with homeless people. They're not as sensitive as I am. Okay. And so there's a concept that I have, maybe sounds heartless for some people, but we get what we can handle. And if I put myself in somebody else's situation, uh, I'm too sensitive to get that in my life. There's some lesson for them to learn. There's lessons for me to learn. We all have these lessons to learn. I was very famous and successful in my family. My younger brother was bipolar, and I felt so bad for him. I just felt terrible. He just couldn't get his life together, and my life was together. And I remember saying to Jimmy, and this is before he killed himself because his life was just too hard for him. This world was too hard for him. And I said, Jimmy, I wish I could give you my life. And it's just a feeling of, I wish so much for you if I could hand this over to you. And he said to me, "Oh, I would never want your life. I don't want to stand in front of people. I don't want the newspapers writing. I would never, never want your life." And just made me feel so clear that even to feel bad for people is kind of putting them in a box that they can't get out of, at least from our point of view. And the compassion is not feeling sympathy for people, but it's feeling people's pain and wishing them well. And if there's something we could do to help and they're asking for it, then if we can help. But it's not just feeling compassion, it's helping people. It's feeling what they go through. And a true compassion, in my opinion, is trusting that they're in the right place at the right time and that they're learning what they're here to learn. And when we put ourselves above other people, it's pushing them down, as opposed to seeing us as all having various degrees of suffering that we have. And when people are disconnected from how they feel, life has to treat them a heavier dose of stimulation to feel the human suffering that really is going on in the world. I mean, think about all the wars that are happening now, the horrible things that are going on. We're not disconnected from that on some level. So it's why I like watching the news, to feel some compassion. It's not like I walk around every day thinking all the bad things that are going on in the world, but I have to dip into it as part of my connection to the world. So all of that is just some of the ideas that go along with the Radiant Mind meditation. Is we're connecting with that universal energy. And so we have an energy field around us, which is, if you put your arms out, it's about 6 feet, 3 feet this way, 3 feet that way, and 3 feet above, and then I think 3 feet below us. It's a big egg around an energy field. If you were to look at a magnet and then put magnet filings around it, you see there's a big torus field around us, around the magnet. Same thing with us. Same thing around our planet. And it's interesting, when they did the lockdowns, just that one thing of don't get within 6 feet of people. Well, that just keeps your energy field from connecting with others. Just like we need to socialize, we need to connect physically, we also need to connect energetically. So this is another aspect of, you will be depressed, you'll be anxious, you'll feel ungrounded if you don't have enough energetic interaction with others. And a big way to feel that connection is by being able to feel the divine energy. So the beginning of this process, we're going to do a Radiant Mind meditation, is to put your hands in the air. When you see all these people in the churches and everything, they're feeling Holy Spirit, they're putting their hands in the air. Now, what is actually happening when you put your hands in the air? And you can even go higher with it. Okay, so when you do this, what's going on in your body is blood is dripping inside. You don't have, when you have gravity, it pulls blood everywhere down. Well, here you're going against gravity. So there's a kind of a loss of blood at your fingertips. So what you're doing there is activating your body's healing crisis. The body says, oh, blood is going away. We need blood to go there. We need life force energy to go there. So literally your body automatically calls it forth. So everywhere in traditions, when people want to pray, they'll start, they'll play the music and, oh, dear God, and you feel something. Okay, that's the fingertips. So my little prayer it's like an invocation, and then we'll go into the Radiant Mind meditation, but you want to be able to feel the energy. So it starts with, dear God, and then you open your arms wide and you go, my heart is open to you. So this is, dear God, my heart is open to you. This is, dear God, my heart is open to you. So you start feeling your energy field. If you do it slowly, now go all the way up, dear God, my heart is open to you. So already we're slowing down. We're starting to feel a tingling energy in our palms and our fingertips. Then bring the hands closer together like this. So it's you're just aware of your fingertips. Now, for me to develop this, where I can also activate other people's fingertips quite easily just by resonating with them, I used to spend hours and hours and hours in the swimming pool with just my fingertips above. I even taught Oprah this technique back in the 90s, be in the bathtub and just feel resonance with the water, but have the fingertips out, that means more awareness goes to the fingertips, because this is how we touch. Okay, so now you can feel the fingertips lighting up, right?
Yeah.
And you can always wiggle them a little bit. And sometimes I'll have people use one finger at a time, and we could do that for people that can't fully feel it, which is you just repeat the phrase, "Dear God, my heart is open to you, come," and then move a finger. And "Dear God, my heart is open to you, please come," and move the ring finger of your right hand. Let's all do this together. And then the middle finger of the right hand, "Dear God, my heart is open to you, please come." The index finger, and then "Dear God, my heart is open to you, please come," and the thumb. Now, I don't do that every time, but for people to start awakening, it's just putting attention on it. That's all it is, with a heartfelt feeling of invitation. Ask and it shall be given. So we're asking is for the divine energy to flow into us, but also to activate our ability to feel it, starting with the fingertips. So now on the left hand, the little finger, "Dear God, our hearts are open to you, please come." And then the ring finger, dear God, our hearts are open to you, please come." Middle finger, dear God, my heart is open to you. Or since we're doing it together, our hearts are open to you, please come. And then the index finger. And come, it's kind of a fun, we'll do, and thumb. So now we got, the fingers are just buzzing. And logically, you look at this and you go, okay, "Dear God, my heart is open to you, please come." Well, God's already here. We wouldn't be alive if God wasn't here. But the idea there in the simple languaging is, come into my awareness so that I can feel your presence. Because when I can feel your presence, then I can direct that energy in places where I'm not aware of it being. Most people aren't aware of all the parts of their body where the life force energy is, but awareness, energy follows awareness. So that's the first 3 steps. It's like a little prayer. "Dear God, my heart is open to you, come." And then with your hands here, then slowly bring them together. Now, this is for some people to feel the energy field even more. If you go slow, and you don't have, in the beginning, you don't have to touch. You just come close together and feel the space between the palms. Okay, and this is where we set an intention. And if you don't feel the space, then you just sort of slowly pull your hands apart. And you can see this is, it's kind of like taffy. You'll start to feel the energy field between your palms.
Mhm.
Slowing down our consciousness, noticing the little. This is actually the quantum field that we're getting in touch with here. And then we're slowly pulling away. And then you can do a thing called palpating. You can palpate a little bit, just like to really get a sense of that there's energy. It's a field of energy that we're in, and that's our field of energy. That's us. It's like you could touch your belly, you can touch your energy field. So you bring your hands to come together slowly. And this is like a prayer position, when you see people praying, but not touching. That way you tend to be more aware of the non-physical reality by not actually touching at that time. And you set your intention. So the intention is, "Dear God, our hearts are open to you. Please come. Fill us with your love and light." So this is just the intent. We're doing this to feel the energy filling us up inside. And love is good feeling, and light is brightness, lightness of spirit. It can mean wisdom. It can mean a lot of different things. So love and light. So these are the 3 first movements. "Dear God, our hearts are open to you. Please come and fill us with your love and light." Your hands come together. Now, a lot of these particular movements, I just traveling around looking at statues of holy people in all different traditions. They're either going up like this, and they're going like this, and they're going like this, and they go like this. So they're pretty ancient. People were pretty smart in the past. People don't realize how intelligent people were in the past. When you look at some of the buildings that they built, you kind of go, how did they do that? They had no they had no electricity, they had no cranes. So there was really our history is extremely limited in terms of what was really going on.
Yeah.
And I would recommend people to watch a little short video that comes out every week called My Lunch Break, just to look at all the amazing architecture that was theoretically built in 1850 when people were living in shacks, and yet you'll see these beautiful Capitol buildings and beautiful structures. So and many of them were covered in mud up to the first floor. So there was a flood just in 1700s, and we have no record of it in history. So there's a lot we don't know. I
Yeah.
just want to toss that in because we
Yes,
want to
I've
expand
heard
our
about this.
awareness.
Yes.
It's amazing. So here
Yes.
we are with this movement. Now, the next thing you'll see in all traditions is that if you want to receive more blessings, you have to give something. Okay, now when
Mm.
you give something, you put your hands out like this. So hands are coming out like you're offering it up. And there's this sense of a letting go. It's a sense of offering. And we're doing this a little more scientifically, which is we come from our intention, and now for the intention to be fulfilled, and this is all just invoking this energy with intention. It's with the intention to be filled with love and light. You could also have the intention to heal my body, or the intention to bless my company, the intention to heal the planet, whatever your intentions are at that time. You set an intention for the energy to flow. Now, once the energy starts to, this is the intention for it to flow. Energy has to flow in a frequency. See, this is just basic science. I remember being inspired by Tesla, the actual inventor. Tesla would talk about it's all about energy and frequency and vibration. Everything is out, and this is really what we're doing here is we're directing this energy. And what frequency should we direct it with? Because what you put your attention on, you resonate with that frequency. So you could, when I'm mentioning using the water, you can go in front of the ocean and you say, okay, dear God, using the frequency of the ocean, that's the offering. Okay, I offer the ocean water. Even though you're not putting water out there, it's just the intent is the offer is to, when you think about these ceremonies in India that can go on for 10 hours, they're repeating invocations, just really the essence of it is a God, we want you to come, please come bless us. It's all these different languages and mantras. It's all for the same simple idea. And then they'll sit by the fire using the fire, Agni in Sanskrit, take my offering as a gift to the gods. So they're throwing things into the fire. There's a most amazing video called The Fire Yogi on YouTube where you can see he'll do it for 18 hours, throwing coconuts in and throwing this in, putting all these offerings in. And then at the very end, because he becomes so one with the fire, he actually gets into the fire and his clothes don't burn. Okay, you can see that it was an amazing video to watch. Because and I've seen it myself in my travels in India where people will chant for a while, build up the energy, and then the Swami will walk around the fire, and then gradually he'll put his hand into the fire, and because he's become one with it, and then pull out something he manifests and give it to someone. I've seen it. It's amazing. We're not doing any of that, and that's all.
Wow. What
But
what kind of things does the Swami pull out of the
oh,
fire? Just curious.
what he does is he teleports into the fire beads. So he'll put beads in another room. He'll buy those beads, or assistant will buy the beads, and then he lines up. He does a prayer on them, and then when he goes into the fire, he basically has it teleported into the fire, puts his hand in, and pulls it out. It's all for show. It's because it's real, and this is part of their tradition. Um, but it doesn't make him a better person. I just want people to know. I know these people, and he eventually became an alcoholic and died. Uh, so these are ancient frequencies. They would, what you do is you'd meditate on a particular mantra. A mantra is just a sound frequency. Om Namah Jaganmante, Kuru Kuru Swaha. You would do that for hours and hours and hours till you are becoming one with that frequency, and then certain things will happen. And there's books, all these ancient books talking about the frequencies, the mantras. We're not doing any of that stuff. Who cares about putting your hand in fires or moving beads here? The idea of doing those things was to impress people that there was a supernatural reality, that there's a non-physical reality and a physical reality. Well, we don't have to do all that. We can just feel it. I can feel the energy in my hands, and then I put my hands out, and the intent is fill me with your love and light using the frequency of water, or you can see in my office here behind me using the frequency of crystal. Okay, so I put my hand over the crystal,
Yeah.
and I don't need to put my hand over it, but when you put your hand over it, then you think more about it. It becomes more real. You can use flowers for this, using these flowers, uh, send your love and light. So that's the idea. And flowers are such a pure frequency. They're healing. Uh, when somebody's sick, you bring them flowers. And if they feel, oh, that's so beautiful, when you see beauty, you become one with it. That's oneness. Connection happens when you recognize goodness and beauty. So flowers are beautiful, or the scent, that's the whole idea of the Egyptians with oils and perfumes. But you don't just put the perfume on, you activate it by, calling in your higher power, inviting it in, feeling the energy, and now use this frequency of the smell. That's how they did all of their healing in ancient Egypt, was with different rose and different flower smells, their frequencies. And then the French turn that into perfumes, and women wear their perfumes. But the key to it is to activate it. If you go to Bali, you'll see all these little statues of deities. So the statue is just a symbol to help the brain focus on, okay, the divine, using this frequency of what this statue represents.
Yeah.
Bless my day. And what they'll do is they'll put a little apple there, they'll put some flowers there, they'll put some water there, they'll dress it, they'll put clothing on it. And all this is just energy and attention saying that use this frequency. See, it's use my offering, and I'm using the frequency. So you could have candles, this is romance. People light the candle. It's always good if you want to turn the lights down and these unnatural frequencies or light bulbs, but then have an actual candle or 5 candles or 10 candles or a fireplace. Just doing the invocation and then use these candles. So then if we can do it in our imagination as well right now. We put our hands forward, eyes closed, and just imagine your room filled with candles. And using this fire frequency, activate the fingertips to fill us with love and light using the fire frequency. And then your hands will start to tingle, and that tingling is the energy starting to wake up in your body. Some people will feel a numbness. Some people in the beginning feel kind of a heaviness or numbness in your fingertips and then your palms, fingertips to palms. So using this water frequency, think of the ocean. I think of my swimming pool, which is very real to me. It's a walking distance from here, a few steps, and there's a swimming pool. So using the frequency of the water, using the frequency of the sun. The Egyptians, you'll see they're always putting their hands up in the air to the sun god, or the manifestation of the divine through the sun frequency. So this is it starts to make sense of all these different traditions and all they're doing. The Christian tradition, the Catholics, they have the incense burning, and they're doing their chanting, and they're putting the incense around. It's the smoke. The American Indians, they smudge, they take sage, and they, say a prayer, come and use this sage, use this smudge in order to purify someone's energy field. My wife and I would do this with, when I would go teach a class, I have everybody's energy in my energy field. She didn't want me to make love with me until she smudged me. So it was really quite fun. I would stand there naked. She would do prayers and do the smoke around me. And you can feel it. If you can feel your energy field, and it's quite wonderful. And putting your attention on it, using the sage, using the water, using the smells, using the kind of the prayer before a meal, is using this offering of the food, bless this food, bless all of us, and so forth, activate the energy in this food. So this is what we're doing here. We're just making a simple, logical understanding of every healing tradition that ever was all around the world, where I've traveled everywhere. They all have different versions of the higher power. We're open to you, come, or, fill us with your love and light. And this movement here is very quite common. Then making offerings, using this frequency, and then what you do after you put your hands out is you bring your hands around. So let me just see how that looks. So I'll step back, and so it's like this, And then if you're sitting down, it's like this, just a simple, it's a movement, and you're basically what you're thinking at that time is using this frequency, fill us with your love and light right now. So you bring yourself in the present time right now by your angels using this frequency, fill us with your love and light. And it can be as simple as right now using this frequency, fill us with your love and light. But the key to it is right now. So this sense of use this for this person, for this purpose, and then right now do it. So these are all like stacking. It's through those movements, you're actually doing many things. You're acknowledging higher power. You're acknowledging that your intent to open your heart to receive. You're calling, you're asking, you're asking God, uh, through your open heart, using the frequency of the water right now, using this frequency. Send your energy, and of course, this energy is often can be uh, enriched if you have a belief in angels. And many people we kind of have this image of these angelic beings surrounding us, and any of the imagery we can use can help make it more real. So it's like using this offering right now, using this water frequency. Send your healing angels to bless my body, my heart, my mind, to activate my fingertips. And boy, when you just say, the real key here is you would just activate the fingertips to receive the energy. And why the fingertips? Because it's always how we touch. So we want to feel something, we touch. Not to say you couldn't be thinking about your belly, or you could be thinking about your knees, your toes, whatever. They're just a little more difficult. This is the easiest to get to. And so you'll see that, statues of Jesus, he'll be doing this. He's pulling energy down. He's pulling energy up. He's sending energy out with his thumb. Okay, so you kind of wonder, what are these hand movements? Then there's in East, there's all kinds of mudras. Here's a particular mudra they'll do, but it's putting attention on a particular fingers, holding it together, and um, the key here is fingertips, hands, intention, frequencies. So, and you do a mantra with this, or just having the intention of what you want to happen. A lot of different ways of doing this. I just simplified down into, we're more logical now. And historically, in other ages, people were more anchored into what's called the astral body. They weren't fully dense in the way we are, living in a logical world, so they didn't have computers doing things. They had other ways of manifesting things. And we can't know, because history is there was something called the Dark Ages where we don't know much. So this is where they've obliterated history completely. Uh, because for whatever reasons, I'm not the one who did it, but all I know is that there's big mysteries about how they built all these amazing buildings, which they say in Wikipedia were built in the 1850s. There's just no way they could have built it in the 1850s. And then you see these other amazing buildings that they say were built 1,000 years ago. With what technology? It's just people just hear it, because we hear these things as children, we just believe it. But really, there's a lot we don't know.
Yes.
And I'm not saying I know. All I know is that some of this stuff was not possibly done by people without cranes and electricity and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through the movements. So you go up, out, down, together, offering, coming around like this. And then after right now, by your healing angels, using this frequency, fill us with your love and light. Then you just have your hands kind of open up like this. And now you have your palms open in a restful state. Now, and that is a big thank you. A thank you that the implied message is, thank you, God, by your healing angels, using this frequency, I'm now receiving your divine energy or your love and light, or I'm now receiving your healing energy. So it's like an acknowledgement of now it's happening. And it can also be, and thank you so much right now. My fingertips are fully activated to receive your love and light through your angels, by your help, with your help. And a big thank you, God, for your help. So now you're co-creating with the energy of the universe, as opposed to being a baby who is just completely brain's developing, everything's happening automatically, the divine energy is doing it all. We have our evolution as human beings to have this higher state of awareness where we can realize we're co-creating with that divine energy. We can direct it. And that's all this first stage of the invocation. Now, people who, have the experience or seen the pictures of the energy fields, the dear God is the crown chakra. Our hearts are open to you as coming down into the third eye, which we're bringing it. That's the intent. Even though your heart's here, you're pulling it down to here. And then the up, out, here is you're bringing it down to the throat center. And then with your hands coming together, you're bringing energy into your heart center. When you're making your offerings, you're down here at your solar plexus center. And then when you circle around and come down, you're in your second energy center. And then your hands pause. You've activated the light of love and light coming down to your body. Okay, so that's kind of we're activating these energy centers.
Yes.
Now we want to go back up. Okay, so this is all kind of the whole evolution of humanity, which is the light had to become dense into form. And then once you have form, you want to remember your source. You want to go back up. So how do we go back up? Once we've pulled that energy down, now we're going to bring the energy back up, one center at a time, rather than thinking, okay, I'm feeling energy centers, which is a technique people can do, but it doesn't engage your left and right hemispheres of the brain. It would just engage your right hemisphere. So we're logically being at every level. And there's ways people can do this different. This is the way I've developed and found to be very helpful, very logical person. And everything makes sense to me. And so now I've brought the energy down, but I'm experiencing it. This is now my hands are open. I'm activating the energy. I'm receiving the energy. Thank you. It's done. My fingertips are activated to receive your healing energy. So the next movement, I bring my hands up a little bit. So it's another shift. We're going up to the second center. And in the second center, what we're doing is, the second center has to do with sensation. People always say sex, but it's also anything that has to do with pleasure and sensation. That's your second center. And all sensations is energy going out. So let's just say that you've got this energy flowing in your body. You feel good when it's flowing. And then when it becomes blocked, we feel tension. So say, I want to be loving. I have a partner. I want to have her love me and I want to love her. I'm pulling in the energy of love to give to her. And then she just says something that upsets me, okay, that I don't want her to say. So she's disapproving of me for something or giving me advice and I don't want to hear it. Just take a simple thing. So I decide, my mind now decides, well, I'm not going to love her as much. See, that's when you're in a bad mood. You're withholding love to your partner, or you're resenting your partner, or you're not trusting your partner, or trying to change your partner, or just unhappy with your partner. Your brain just gets in the way of unconditional love. It just says, nope, not going to give love till they change. So your brain blocks the energy. So when but the truth is, you want to love that person, but you want them to change before you can love them. Then that's your own. That's what we do in our minds. We say, well, then I'm not going to love you. That's the primitive brain for survival and security for a variety of psychological reasons. That's a whole different story. But energy flows whenever you want, whenever you desire, energy flows. And then when you think, well, then I don't want that anymore because I can't have it, or I want to love you. Well, I'm not going to love you now because you said that. We are blocking the energy, whether we're aware of it or not. And so anytime you feel anger, sadness, fear, tension, anxiety, depression, all these are just symptoms of blocked energy. And so the energy just keeps flowing into us because we're still breathing, we're still alive, but we're not sharing that energy. All right, so if we're not sharing the energy, it has to flow. We're breathing it in and we have to breathe it out. So we take a deep breath in when we're pulling the energy in. Now you have to breathe out. And so what you breathe out is you give back the energy, but we're not giving back the energy. We're withholding. We're not loving. We're not happy. We're not joyful. We're not grateful. Whenever you have those positive feelings, that means energy is flowing. The opposite of those positive feelings, we call them negative emotions, are symptoms of divine energy blocked. So think about this energy, it's blocked. And it keeps flowing and keeps hitting a block. What's going to happen? There's a tension that builds up. So this is all the physical tension that makes us sick eventually, tension in the body. And so this energy flow, it gets blocked. So the next thing to do, since we can feel the energy, and we're using the fire frequency, say, or the water frequency, or the flower frequency, we can say, okay, this blocked energy, let's send it out. Let's get rid of it. Let's offer it to the flowers. Let's offer it to the water. Let's hand it back to God. Because right now, it's too much energy. Have you ever felt like it's just too much, too much? That's what the energy is blocked. It's not flowing. So we haven't yet removed the block. But what we can do to begin removing the block is stop banging up against it. So this is send the energy out, to let the blocked energy go out. In primitive societies, they would say, let the dark energy go out. Okay, now we can be more conscious, let the feelings of frustration be released, let the energy be used up. Now, this is to consciously do it as opposed to unconsciously do it. If I have tension building up, I can just get a sugary drink. This isn't a sugary drink, but and through the sensation of pleasure, I can release that energy. See, it gets used up. So all pleasure is a way of using up the energy. So if you're going to have pleasure, you want to make sure the energy goes out. It should be with something that's good for you. When the greatest pleasure, of course, is sex, and you're having sex with someone you love, then your energy is going out to them through the pleasure, but they love you back, so the energy comes back. And that's the whole point of only have sex with someone you love, but also only experience pleasure if something is going to give back to you nutrition and support. Otherwise, your energy just goes out and you feel better, but you're empty. Nothing came back to you. This is all addictions. Anything we would call an addiction, something that's not good for you that you really, really want. You're just burning off excess energy. Yelling and screaming is just burning off excess energy, but leaves you feeling empty, as opposed to sharing feelings in a way where somebody can hear you and respond to you in a positive way. Your energy goes to them and it comes back to you. So this is communication where you feel heard, and someone and hearing you feels empathy or compassion or appreciation or trust or wanting to help. The energy comes back to you. So this is like when therapy works, is because you share emotions with a therapist who knows how to hear that without resisting it. So if you're just sharing your emotions with someone and they're resisting it, it doesn't come back to you. Empathy is, I understand where you are, so I'm with you. You're not alone in those feelings. So the idea here is you're receiving this energy in. Now you learn how to send energy out, blocked energy. So in terms of blocked energy would be, we'll take a simple one, which is have your eyes closed, put your fingertips as if you're imagining something. What would you like to imagine? Water, fire, flower, what?
How about flowers?
Flowers are great. Just imagine, and just to know you can do this with real flowers and it will actually be more powerful. And then people go, oh, I don't want to send negative energy into the flower. The mother doesn't care. The mother wants to take the child's pain. They feel the empathy. Oh, sweetheart, you feel so sad. I love you so much. Flowers breathe in our carbon dioxide and they exhale the oxygen. So think of this as our carbon dioxide going out and then them breathing back to us. But first, we want to send our energy out. So you have a beautiful flower, eyes are closed. Imagine a flower. What color is your flower?
Pink, hot pink.
Hot pink. Okay, so you have a beautiful hot pink flower. Okay, beautiful hot pink flower. So now you think about, we go through the whole motions. It's, dear God, my heart is open to you. Please come, fill us with your love and light. Use this hot pink flower right now, using this hot pink flower. Thank you. Activate our fingertips to receive your love and light. Take away the blocked energy in my body. Come up and take away the blocked energy. And one aspect of blocked energy is take away my frustrations. Take away my frustrations. And now what you do is you feel the energy flowing out, just with the intent. Energy is now flowing out. It's like you breathe in good energy, you're breathing out frustration. And now we're just doing it. And you can get a sense of energy flowing out into that flower.
Mm.
Is that
Mm-hmm.
something you want to be able to send out any negative energy? And for a lot of people, if you're doing this with me, think about something you're afraid of. Imagine you're like a little child and you're scared. The flower is like a mother who's going to tell you everything's okay. So just send that fear into the flower. They love it. That's why when people are sick, we give them flowers. They like to absorb negative energy. They thrive on absorbing it and to give back to you good energy, to recirculate the energy. So you're now sending the energy out. So this is a sensation. Before we had the sensation of our activating our fingertips to receive energy. Now we're sending energy out. Any blocked energy that might be in our bodies. So you think about something you're scared of or afraid of or worried about. Just think about that a little bit. Feel that emotion and let the energy of that blocked energy of fear. All fear is just blocked energy. What's the energy that we're blocking? The energy of faith and trust and acceptance. So we're just going to send out the energy of fear, letting it go out. Maybe feeling any disappointments in your life, anything you're sad about, disappointed about. You can always go into the past. If you're stressed, this is what you do. You analyze your stress. And we always have some tension in our lives. You can also think about, take away the negative energy of these horrible wars that are going in the world and the poor people that are so scared and so sad. You can think about your own children, which is any problems they might be having. Dear God, through me, through my fingertips, using this flower, take away the stress of my children, take away their fears, take away their frustrations, take away their sadness, give them peace. So you're feeling the fingertips will wake up, particularly when you're healing others, blessing others, but also with yourself. Energy flows out into the flower. Take a deep breath. And on the exhale, imagine energy flowing out. And breathe in. And imagine energy flowing out. This emptying of any stress, letting it all go out, flowing out, flowing out. Until you can feel a flow of energy going into the flower, into that pink flower. And you do that for a little while. And now we're going to do the next level. That's the second energy center, energy going out, being used up, but into the flower, offering to the flower. Now we're going to be simultaneously, this little is you're sending energy into the flower, and at the same time, you're pulling energy back from the flower, fresh, new energy. So sending the energy into the flower and simultaneously pulling energy back. You're combining the base chakra, which is pulling energy in, the second chakra, which is sending energy out, and now you're sending energy out and pulling it in, and that's your belly chakra. And you don't have to think about that. We're mainly thinking about fingertips, energy, palm. So we're drawing in, almost like sucking in energy through a straw, through your fingertips, sending energy out and pulling back simultaneous. Can you get a sense of that?
Yes, I'm loving this. I just really feel the divine energy. It's very sacred. Thank you so much for sharing this.
So this is, ironically, this combining step 1 with step 2 to 3, that's in the ancient terms, that's samadhi. That's a state of samadhi. That's actually a state of trance. And you're pulling energy into yourself. And so you would just have your hands open, you're drawing energy in. One way I talk about in some of my books is the second energy center. That's a decharge. You're taking away emotional charge. You're sending the charge, electrons moving out, literally moving out of you. And then now we're recharging. So what we're sending out, we're pulling in. We're filling up. And you can just feel this energy starting to flow from your fingertips, from the pink flower to your fingertips, to your palms. And now then you can do body scan. So many traditions teach body scan, but they don't fully wake up the energy. You want to scan your body so the energy can go to those places. So uh, from your fingertips to your palms, now draw that energy to your elbows. There. And now from your elbows, draw it up to your shoulders. You might focus first on the right arm and then focus to the left arm. And feel the energy flowing in from fingertips to palms to elbows to shoulders. Maybe you're able to feel it more on your right arm, then just notice you don't feel it as much on your left, and then continue noticing, and the energy will flow from your fingertips to where the energy is not. Call it up to your shoulder. And if ever you don't feel the energy flow somewhere, that's okay. Just notice that you're not feeling energy there. You're just having the brain wake up these channels. It'll happen automatically.
Mhm.
Then now we'll go from the shoulders to the heart. And you know what helps in all of this is look at an anatomy so you can actually see what your organs look like. So you have just a vague sense of where they are, what their function is, what they look like. But now we're filling up our chest with love and light, sensation with vibration. As Tesla said, we have frequency of energy. You combine those together, you get this vibration. Now you let the energy go to your lungs, breathe into your lungs, as if the energy is coming from your flower. Your energy's old energy is going out, fresh energy is coming in. You're drawing it in like a magnet.
Mhm.
And you go down. We're going to do this a little more quickly. You could take 20 minutes to do this, but we're just going to go through just a vague sense of we're going from to our lungs, to our liver, on the right side of the body, over to the left, to the stomach, and then we'll go down just simply to the navel, to the belly, the microbiome, behind your belly, also your kidneys. Over on the left side, there's the spleen. There's the right side, there's the gallbladder. Just drawing in energy and coming back to the fingertips again and again, feeling it flowing up the body to the elbows, the shoulders, down the body, through the chest, into the belly, into the whole pelvic area. And for there, we're going to go down to the knees. And when you go down to the knees, go down the back of the leg to the knees. Go down to the heels, back of the leg, to the sole of the feet, to the toes. And just like you can feel the sensation so strong in your fingertips and palms, with practice, you'll feel it that strong in your feet, to your toes. And then up the legs to your knees, and all the way to the base of the spine from your knees. And now with this sense of energy pouring in through your fingertips, up your body, down your body, up to the spine. Now we're going to slowly go up the spine. Don't have to be in a hurry here. Just be aware of it like a ball of light at the base of the spine. Go up a couple of inches. Just imagine, feel the sensation. Sometimes it's a cool sensation for people.
Mhm.
And then go up another couple of inches. Come up another couple of inches. Just keep going up a few inches at a time. So we're around the belly button, behind the belly button. Now move up a few inches, maybe 6 inches to behind the uh, solar plexus, 4 inches there, another few inches up to behind the center of your chest, the heart center. Coming up to the neck area, coming up to the back of the brain. And imagine a ball of light in the back of your brain as you're going up the neck. And then you
Mhm.
go to the forehead, go to the crown, come back down to the forehead. You're going to make a loop coming all the way down to the throat, to the chest, to the belly. And now you're going up and down, up and
Mm.
down. So that's a meditation. That's one of the radiant mind meditations, which is your whole brain filled with light radiating out. And you're circulating. So this is where people will do this. They'll put their little thumb and their fingertip together, which is symbolic of the energy is now in a loop. Just looping in the base of the spine. And then you manifest things. Then you start to, when the energy is flowing, that's where you then can imagine what you want your day to look like. And then you imagine how that would make you feel. And then you imagine feeling that way, how you want your day, what you want to be doing. So what's making you happy, what you're grateful for. So you can do work with that, or you can just be in the energy field of trusting that the energy knows what it needs to do, but you've set your intention that your day be filled with light, your business be blessed, your children be happy, and you allow the energy to flow to activate your whole nervous system, your whole body to feel one with the energy field. And then there's other exercises I teach, which are expanding your whole energy field, but you can just, if you want to stand up afterwards, exercise and just slowly move your hands like this, and you'll feel the energy field around you as a big, beautiful ball of light.
Mm.
So that's a radiant mind meditation and the whole concept of it. How'd that
Oh,
sound for you?
thank you so much. That felt so sacred. And I love using these frequencies, the flower frequency, the ocean, fire. So maybe also when we're in places where nature is not so available to us, to just bring that in through our third eye. So powerful.
Yes, absolutely. The third eye is absorbing the energy. You're pulling it in, pulling it in. And even though you're also doing it in other centers as well. But what I do on airplanes is you can always have some oil, some frequency. You're breathing that smell. You can also have, it was very funny. I would always travel, when I used to travel all the time around the world, went to 20 different countries teaching Men Are From Mars. I'd bring six to 12 roses. And
Oh,
just right there, my little spot in front of my seat. And it was so funny when I come in, they go, "Oh, for me, oh,
oh.
it was special." And I would always say, "Yes, for someone special, someone special." Sometimes I even give a flight attendant. They would sometimes say for me, "Yes, one for you."
Oh.
And if you don't have flowers, then another thing I used to do is I would have water, just have a cup of water, and just have that in my awareness, activate the water, resonate the water with my fingertips, and then just sit there and have a nice, relaxing meditation. Another one to do is use music, using this music, the frequency of this music. Fill me with your love and light, and just enjoy the energy flowing into you, resonating with the music. And you want to have uh, whatever music you like, really. That's the way to do that.
Beautiful. What a beautiful meditation that we can use every day, and especially when we're on planes or other areas that might, the energy might feel more dense for us.
Yeah, and what just why put the hand movements with it is simply you can just when I wake up in the morning, I'll just do this, this, and it's your body is just remembers, oh yeah, this is at this stage, and then with this one, and then the energy. Some people have you when you do the circle, they have you moving up and down like this. That's a very Taoist exercise from Asia, and then you can do that. The more Hindu version is you have your fingers together like that and
Yeah.
symbolize in your mind, I'm circulating the energy, circulating the energy.
I love this. One of the main things I do with clients I work with is just helping them connect with their body. So this is just such a beautiful
Yeah.
way
So
to
we're activating it with greater awareness and energy flows. The ancient masters, I tried this. It was just too much memory work for me, but learning all of the different acupressure, so acupuncture channels, and actually mentally just sending the energy down this channel and moving around this, it was too much for me. It's many people say it's about a 5-year study to
Wow.
become aware of that. But this is a whole different time where people were completely had all kinds of sensitivities that we don't have. We're living in a more scientific, logical realm, but we want to integrate into that through logic and understanding our connection with the whole.
Yeah.
And then to be able to recognize that we are, to a great extent, at least in our own lives, we're co-creating with this force.